Pam Goffman, you're up.
Yes, the first thing I have is payroll. We have two different ones. The first one that was distributed to all employees on May 24th for $147,451.03. The one that is for today on June the 7th for all employees for $151,625.12. We paid out overtime from April 22nd, I think, to May 25th for a month. That was $2,653.72. And then we had one part-time employee that got left off payroll for $72.
And that 2653 is from the grant, right? We're pulling that still from the grant?
Actually, what we're doing because of the grant, because the grant can only cover the vaccine day.
Yeah.
So we're paying all the overtime yet from the health fund. And then we're going to take what is strictly for the vaccine day and then push that over and from the grant to
Into
make it
health.
work, because we can't claim all this, and for Tasha to have to keep track of 3 or 4 different things of overtime, we thought this would be the easiest.
Oh, okay, so
Yeah.
this way it's one category, it's easier to track.
Yes.
I got you.
Yeah.
I got you. Okay, thank you.
I think it's winding down, isn't it, the vaccine?
I have no idea.
I think the
haven't
numbers
talked to
have
them.
went down, but I don't know if they can change the overtime because it's required by the grant that they got, so.
Right. And I talked to Will Markham about, he said he talked to him about trying to see what they can do about getting the overtime down and
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah. And Teresa, they sometimes tell you the load's low, right, to where you don't have to come?
I haven't been out there working.
Yeah, so that's another good thing too.
Yeah, I think it just involves the health department, right, Pam, or have you?
I think so. That Tasha told me that the ones that were on the mailing this time was that, because I think even Darlene hasn't even worked the last couple of Wednesdays even.
That's good. Good.
Okay, any other comments?
I'll make a motion to approve the payroll.
Second?
You second, Randy?
Yes, sir.
Motion made and second, roll call, Randy?
Aye.
Great.
Aye?
And I also vote aye. Motion made, second, carried 3-0.
Okay, next I have our claims. County General for the amount of $363,162.51. Highway, $192,360.64. We had a couple advance payments that we did out. We had unemployment and I think telephone, $2,778 and $1,589.40 for a total of $559,890.55.
Sorry, I have to be a pain again. General claims, claim 111, that's me, so I have to abstain from that one. But
Claim 111,
yep,
Okay.
general claims, 111.
okay?
Can we go ahead and just take it as a motion and he's,
Yes, that's what I did on the last one.
okay.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yes. Any other comments?
No, looked good to me.
I'll motion to approve.
Okay.
I'll second that.
Motion made and second, roll call, Greg?
Aye.
Randy.
Aye.
Motion made, second, carried 3-0.
And 2-0 on the one.
Yeah. No one claim.
Okay. The last thing that I have is an additional appropriation for computer system maintenance. Teresa and I have been working on this. We've been watching our account and kind of realizing how close we've been getting with it. As of right now, for what we figured out to the balance we have, we still got to finish out paying our financial vendor. That's for the treasurer's office and my office to use. We got that to pay out yet the rest of the year. We still have another payment yet to Ann Island and an extra payment to Ann Island because we're still doing a lot of catch up. So they're actually already working into our third month or our third quarter of payment already. So we have sat down and talked with Anjan, and at this point, things are starting to slow down, and we're hoping it stays that way to where we're going to get caught back up. But we're worried that we'll probably go ahead and use the fourth quarter before we need to. So we're putting in for an extra quarter, just to be on the safe side for time worked. And then we also had a lot of extra bills from the previous IT that we thought we were caught up, and there were some payments and stuff that they said that we had not done. And then and with our new company, we had bought some equipment, appliances as far as with our email security and
Antivirus on the server.
antivirus on
and
the
then
server, so that way it would help us
cloud
out to where.
backup, and cloud backup.
Yeah, and cloud backup, so we won't have to do that every year. So with that in hand, to what we're coming up right now, we're gonna be short around $18,000 to get us through the rest of the year. Teresa and I talking it over and looking at things, I did provide you guys with a financial statement that I always work up for the council each year, or each month. Cume Cap is where computer system maintenance is paid from. Right now, there is only an unappropriated of $41,000 there. I personally don't want to see us take full $18,000 from that, because that's going to cut us down to about $23,000 for unappropriated. And Cume Cap at this point is pretty well budgeted close to what we're bringing in. So it's really, we need to be able to get a way to keep our cash balance, trying to bring it up instead of cutting it down more. So my suggestion, with talking to Teresa, we're looking at a Cume Cap, just taking $8,000 from there and taking $10,000 from the Riverboat to help out, because I think Riverboat, when I looked at it, it was like $100,000 unappropriated. It's over $100,000 unappropriated at this time. So that's kind of where my suggestion is for for this to get advertised, to go to the council for the end of the month for the additional. And I will explain it to the council the same way at their meeting, if they want some explanation as to why we done that.
But you're not 100% convinced you're gonna need all of it. You just, this is a,
Right, there's 8,100 of it that possibly, right, we're really hoping that we don't have to use that 8,100, but we're putting it in because right now Ann Island is into our third quarter payment, just because of a lot of catch-up stuff, so we're hoping things will slow down, that, yes, that we don't have to use the extra 8,100 that we're pushing in here.
If we do, the hours will carry over, any leftover hours from that those allotted hours
Yeah.
from that quarter.
We'll carry over to next year.
well, is he getting a lot done? I mean, I know there was a lot to do.
Yes, yes, he's doing very well, and they're getting a real good feel of our system, getting things worked, I think, to where they're able to manage it a lot easier too, as far as their side, and it seems to be working out really well too. And with the departments being able to contact them to get the work orders in, and for him to come out, so it seems to be done very well.
Some
going
might,
with them.
some might look at it as like, we're spending this extra money on, oh goodness, what did we do? Switching vendors. But in reality, what's happening is our old vendor left a lot of things on the back burner and they went south. And what he's doing is he's actually catching them up. So we actually did a good thing of switching vendors in this point. But it takes a little extra for them to get there, so. So, I mean, I don't have a problem with it.
And that's what I thought was going on, I didn't wanna
Mm-hmm.
say it out loud, but,
I think,
well,
I will.
I know, but,
You gotta realize if you get caught up, maybe next year won't be as
Exactly.
tough.
True.
on us.
Exactly.
Yeah, but it's
And knowing
weird.
Anjan, he's probably starting to do a lot of stuff remote too, which saves on time as well. So.
Yes, and there are things that he can, but the problem was we had a lot of computers that still needed to be upgraded, and he is still working on some of those, and a lot of computers that still had to be placed in. And 1 month, he really had to use a lot of hours because of trying to catch all that work up.
but you're well satisfied with his work.
Oh, yes, I am, and I haven't heard anything from any departments that aren't.
Good.
Well, some of that
So-
came from all the IT we got from the CARES Act too. He had to catch up on all that.
Yes, yes.
And get it set up for
Yeah,
everybody.
because
so-
we had a lot of new computers there too,
And
yeah,
that
with the
was-
laptops and everything.
But there
Exactly.
were several before that,
Mhm.
so. Anyway, well, good, we're heading the right direction.
Okay. We need to make a motion for that though, don't we?
Yes, you do.
Can I put the council people that are here on the spot?
Well, I have a question.
Yeah.
Do we need to make that transfer now, or can we do it later on in the year? Because you're saying this is for the fourth quarter.
I mean, it can be done later on in the year. We were just trying to get it taken care of before we didn't forget about it.
Well, you can,
We
make the
could-
motion and then we could adopt it later. Couldn't we? Luke?
We could do what you felt is.
Right.
yeah.
You
I mean,
know,
they can go ahead and approve this, and we can
Yeah.
put this additional
Yes,
anytime
sure.
that you want.
And then by the time the end of the year, you may not need that much, and we can appropriate what you
Mhm,
need.
mhm.
There's no time limit on, after
Right.
they
Right.
approve it, y'all
Yeah.
can take whatever
No
time it feels
expiration
necessary.
date.
That would make sense to me.
What about advertising?
Okay.
So this way, if they go ahead and approve it tonight, hold on to it until you guys feel like we want to put it on for legal. Okay?
You think split it up? Hey, Charlie, you think split it up?
Yeah, I think,
Like
I
Pam
agree with
said.
that.
Okay.
But, I mean, you can do that, that the
Right,
council
yeah,
can
Council, we can,
do it, have you,
we'll turn it over to our money man over here.
well, you're one of them too, Charlie.
No, I'm just a voice.
Well, we have it, I mean, as far as your additional that I have, we've got it split up here for you. And then if it comes to the point that we're looking good, we might be able to change it or lower it before it does go to the
Right.
council.
So that's what I was
So,
thinking.
yeah.
And I had 18 something for CUNCAP and then 10 for Riverboat, is that right?
No, it was 8.
Eight.
It was 18,000 altogether.
Ah, that's where I had it wrong. Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
So eight, what's the exact numbers, and I'll make the motion.
8,000 out of Cume Cap
Okay?
and 10,000 from the Riverboat Fund.
Oh, so that is flat. Okay, so
Yeah.
I motion that we take 8K from CUNCAP and 10 from Riverboat to make for the computer system maintenance.
I'll second that. Pushing.
Okay, motion made and second, roll call, Greg?
Aye?
Randy?
Aye.
Also vote aye. Motion made, second carried, 3-0. Do you need just my signature or all three?
No, I have lines down there for the
all
other
three.
two.
Okay. Need a new form.
And that is all I have.
Okay. Steve Howe?
I just have a request for additional appropriation. This is our community crossing matching, our share of the match, $170,855.27. We just have to get it in the right. We've got the money, we just have to get it appropriated, it said before we can pay,
Get in the right column.
get in the right column, yes.
Mhm.
That's all I have.
So motioned.
Randy?
Second.
Motion made, second, roll call, Greg?
Aye?
Randy?
Aye.
I also vote aye.
Thank you.
Sure you don't need anything else?
Nope. that's all.
Good work, Steve.
Make it rain.
Yeah.
And we got sealed bids next meeting? Bids on that next meeting? Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Yes, middle of June meeting.
Yes.
Mhm. Okay, Chris?
So we, great, didn't bring it. We have a, thank you. We have a petition here to vacate part of an unnamed street, or alley in Bristow. The Anderson Township Fire Department owns land, 2 parcels of land, and between those, or in those parcels, is Bristow's a platted city, so there are some platted unnamed streets or alleys in that land. It's bordered on both sides by land owned by the fire department, and Randy can help me here, but it's my understanding that if these are vacated, it's the intent of the fire department to construct a building there for the fire department. Is that correct, Randy?
That's correct. And Glenn Goffin is here, the fire chief from Anderson. I'm actually on the board of directors, and we got some land donated, the property donated to us. Correct me if I'm wrong, Glenn, the building will not sit on the alley. It's set right pretty close to it. That's correct. Coming back from 145 back to the alley.
Are there any utilities in there that you're aware of?
Everything's been, we had to check, there was one phone line, but PSC has since removed that.
Okay.
Since then, so, no utilities.
The alley is not developed, correct? It's
It's
just
an
land.
alley to nowhere, basically?
It isn't even there. I mean, the
Yeah,
alley's
that's what I mean,
not
that's,
there.
yeah, if it was there, it'd be an alley to nowhere.
Exactly. We have given, notice was published in the paper as is required, and we also gave certified notice to the adjoining landowners, of which there were, I think, 3. 3, one of whom is the one who donated the land. So that was no problem. So it would be, this is the time for the actual hearing, so it'd be appropriate time for you to ask if anyone is here on behalf of this petition or to speak for or against it. So, is there anyone here? Okay, good. So since there is not,
And they've been notified of.
they've all been notified by
the hearing
certified
will be
mail, as I
made.
said. I have an ordinance, which of course I can bring with me because I ran out like crazy due to my late meeting, and I apologize. But I have an ordinance that approves the vacation, which you can take up today or you can take up at the next meeting. And I'll make sure I get it emailed to you guys. I thought I emailed it to you, but I don't think, I must not have.
No.
So it's a standard ordinance we typically pass when we vacate. It sets forth that we publish notice in the paper. It's got the date of publication in there. It states that notice was mailed to the adjoining landowners. And if approved, the motion would vacate the unnamed streets or alleys located adjacent to and bordering on 2 parcels that are owned by the fire department in Bristow, Indiana. So that's what we have.
Yeah, I'm familiar with the project too, so.
Should I,
I've seen
You
it.
got any?
should
No,
I
I've seen
restrain
that.
Chris? from
You should
voting?
have, yeah, you should abstain probably since you're on the board.
Okay.
I motion to.
Okay, then I guess I'll second, and Greg?
Aye.
And I vote aye, it's 2-0 with 1 abstention.
Can we, is that at your office now, Chris?
The ordinance?
Yeah.
Undoubtedly, yes,
Okay.
yes.
Um,
I will email it to the clerk
Okay.
tomorrow, or the auditor, I mean, tomorrow morning.
Yeah. I typically wouldn't vote for something like that without reading it, but it's typically gonna be boilerplate for this.
It's
one.
absolutely boilerplate. There's nothing in there that isn't in any other one we've done before. And, you know, if you guys, the
Till we
way I
sign-
would say this is,
till we sign
approve
it.
it subject to your review of the ordinance. If it looks like it's a problem, then we'll come back the next meeting and make it right.
There we go.
Yeah.
Pam,
'cause
did
I don't
you
wanna-
catch that?
I don't want
Yep.
to sneak anything in there.
Approved subject to the ordinance.
I had an extra raise for me, he snuck in there, but now that you raised it, I guess I'll take it out.
Now you gotta take it out.
Thought I was
I
gonna.
got a comment on that.
Dang it, Jarvis.
A
I
little-
apologize, I
No,
really
it's
do.
all right.
I thought I had it with me and it's not in the car.
It happens.
Yeah, I got a comment on the Bristow Firehouse, or Anderson Township. Back in '84, we built the original firehouse down there. Since then, we've kind of outgrown it. We've been looking for land for what, 4 or 5 years now? We thought we had some, but the cost of it was unlevel, so we dropped that idea over a year ago. We found this property, talked to the landowner, and he offered to donate it to us. And we're gonna build a fairly good-sized firehouse for Bristow with 1 extra bay, and that's what I'm trying to get at here. For someday, I hope to get a rescue truck down there, Perry County Rescue Truck. Anderson Township is building a firehouse, putting an extra bay at their cost for a truck someday. We have got 6 or 7 first responders within a mile from Bristow. That's on the rescue right now. If you know anything about rescue, there's a lot of runs towards the interstate from out of Bristow. The fire department will go with those runs, but rescue truck in the future would be a benefit to that end of the county. That could be something the rescue money could look at on the committee. That would benefit all northwest part of and the interstate of Perry County. Right now, we made a mutual agreement over a year ago. EMA got some equipment. It is on one of the fire trucks now. Just basic equipment to start getting somebody out of the vehicle. It's not a full equipped rescue vehicle, but it is we are using one of Anderson's fire trucks right now. With Chris made our agreement, that was over a year ago, wasn't it, Chris?
It was, yeah, pre-COVID, yeah.
So, we got some really dedicated firemen and first responders up that way, so thank you. To keep that in your mind, guys, when you're on the committee.
Is there an existing truck that could be relocated there instead of a new one, or, I mean?
Well,
I'm just asking, you know, is,
At one time, we thought about, I might be getting too deep into this, Glenn. We thought about, we
Didn't
thought
mean to put
about
you on the spot.
upgrading the mini pumper. It's a 98 model. We thought about upgrading it to a different, it'd be a great rescue truck. It's a ton chassis, pretty good speed to get into the scene. It would be a good rescue truck if Anderson would ever decide to do that, but we're not nowhere close that day yet.
Sure. And I was just asking if there
Yeah.
was, so.
But no, we don't have any other basic rescue truck like we do here at the Armory or at the North Station.
Randy, I have a question.
Yeah.
How long do you think it's gonna take before you build this building?
Glenn?
With all the COVID stuff right now, I would guess 2 years.
Okay, so
Yes,
we've
sir.
got
That's what I'm
2
guessing.
years to work on
Yeah.
Yeah.
trying to make some sort of arrangement to get a truck out there. By
Yeah.
the time you get it.
Or modifying the one they were talking about, or whatever.
And the cost of
Yeah.
materials kind of put a ringer in that too, a little bit right now, so.
Yeah.
But we're just getting the ground set and, you know, they're looking at what type of building they're gonna need and everything like that, so,
Gives us time to start working on it.
yeah. You know, we did the same thing, when we built the St. Mark's Firehouse? 99, we was in the little firehouse there right at St. Mark's. And we built a nice firehouse there, so now it's time to do at Bristow. So keep growing the community, what we're trying to do out there, so.
Thanks.
Anything else, Glenn? Okay.
Okay, the next thing I have is an amendment to the COVID resolution for medical plan provisions. During COVID last year, our administrators and folks for the health plan sent us a resolution to make some changes in our plan that were required by Health and Human Services due to COVID-19. That is set to expire, but it's now been extended by Health and Human Services, so we still need this to be in effect. So our administrator sent us a new plan resolution amendment that needs to be considered, and it's my understanding, Pam, that there were a couple of areas we needed to look at here. One, let's see. Yeah, the only, that's the sign. Let's see here, yeah. So, the question that they have asked is, let me just tell you what this is doing. So the requirement under the CARES Act for group plans to cover COVID testing related services without cost. So that's what this does, that's required, and this would make that change. There's a requirement for non-grandfathered group health plans to cover the vaccine both in and out of network without cost share, and that's supposed to continue, so that continues that. And after this public health emergency ends, typically these would only, non-grandfathered plans would cover in-network only. So this changes that because of the requirements. There's a requirement under the FFCRA to allow paid leave related to COVID-19 that technically expired on December 31st, meaning the client's no longer required to offer COVID-related leave. Some employers are choosing to extend that until the end of the public health emergency. So we need to, that's the decision we have to make. Do we let it expire as of December 31st, which it already has, so do we let that stay, or do we voluntarily continue the CARES Act leave until the end of the public health emergency? Or we can voluntarily continue it for a set time, which does not have to be the end of the public health emergency, but can be any time you all choose. So that's the decision you need to make. The other parts of this resolution are by law we have to do to comply with the law. And the only issue here for you guys to discuss is whether you would continue the leave to the end of the public health emergency, not at all, or until a certain date.
My opinion is the basically expired at 12/31/2020, but I know that Luke, you're on that subcommittee for insurance, and is Pam, are you on that one too? Is that the proper term, subcommittee?
It's trustees of health
Trustees.
It's the
insurance.
trustees of, yeah.
Sorry, I'm learning language still. Any opinions from you I would like to know?
Let the expiration stand.
Yeah.
But I've got no problem with that either. Randy, do you have any?
I mean, it's already expired in reality. We're just kind of putting it into writing at this point.
That's correct. If that's your choice, that would be right, yes.
So you want to make the motion, guy?
Sure. I select the option of not offering any more as of 12/31/2020 expiration. So,
And otherwise approve the resolution.
and otherwise, approve
plan
the
amendment.
resolution,
Yeah.
yes. Because of the other two, yeah.
Okay.
Could you say that one more time?
Sure. If I can, Pam. For the first time. Is this a test? So I motion that we stop, not offer any more as of 12/31/2020 expiration, the FFCRA/CARES Act leave. And we also approve the rest of the resolution as is.
Okay.
That's what you said. Very good. So we
Yeah,
essentially
I'll
check
second
that
that
box.
Okay.
Yep.
Motion made and second. Roll call. Greg?
Aye.
Randy?
Aye.
Also vote aye.
I think that only requires Tom's signature
Let's look.
on the
I
last.
checked the box you mentioned, so that's now checked, and you are correct, Tom, you can sign that. Nobody else needs to sign that.
Okay. Next on the agenda.
That's all I have.
Is Teresa?
Yes, at your last meeting, you approved an additional appropriation for county car expenses for $5,000. Since that appropriation, there was a little collision with the 2016 Ram truck that will involve a $500 deductible to get it repaired. And Tom had asked the council at their last meeting for a motion of intent for $5,500, but you had approved the appropriation at $5,000, so just an amended appropriation, probably for the record, you should approve the $5,500, the new amount.
You brought that up, yeah, you brought it up to the council.
Up to the council,
The
yeah.
accident happened before the council meeting, right?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yes.
And the deductible's 500.
I'll make that motion.
Okay.
Second.
Okay, motion made, second. Randy?
Aye.
Greg?
Aye.
Motion made, second, carried 3-0. Hopefully that's all we're gonna have to do. All right, miscellaneous, one thing in miscellaneous, I wanted to bring out a clarification of a motion made, I believe, is the last meeting of Greg, to put on the agenda for public comment. And the, there wasn't, the comment was made that we always do that during the meeting or at the end of the meeting. So Greg?
Yeah, I made the motion to actually put it at the beginning of the meeting, just a solid line item on public comments. And it fell to a second, it did fall to a second, but the conversation around that basically stated that in miscellaneous, you've always had public comments as well, as long the agenda as well, but in miscellaneous, there was always that
Right.
option of public comments too.
So, you know, our,
Which is okay as long as there's the ability to do public comments. That's
Right.
that's the key.
Right.
That's the key. If there's a place for that, so.
during the individual items on the agenda, I mean, and we've, you know, we've had
I
lots
guess,
of discussions during the,
And the only reason I motioned it was because in past boards that I've been on, and they always followed Robert's rules too, and it's basically always at the beginning is where the amounts
I
to.
kind of felt like it limited it to the beginning and instead of when discussion was on the subject,
Yeah.
which is the way we always have done it.
Well, I mean, the last meeting that we had several people commenting in the gallery, and we just called on them, you know, during
Right.
that time. But I think as long as it's also known that at miscellaneous, if there's someone that wants to speak or whatever, all they have to do is tell us
Right.
beforehand, and we can add them to the miscellaneous and.
Absolutely.
And two, since I've been commissioner, a lot of times the miscellaneous took longer than what the meeting did itself. Because you
has.
get comments and people review the minutes, the meeting, then at the end, they got questions.
I always liked it at the end,
Yeah.
just kind of a wrap up.
Can I make a comment? The only thing that I would say is, I hear a lot of people here, if you get a person that's not used to coming to, say, one of the commissioners meeting or a council meeting, they see miscellaneous, it
Right.
doesn't say.
The wording.
So you might want to add miscellaneous / public for people that don't know how things operate. You come in there and say, I don't see where, do you see my point?
I don't see that being a big deal.
What about
Yeah.
miscellaneous comments?
Right, we'll just start putting comments.
Yeah.
I mean,
Right, then because like I
Because-
said, if a person came in here and they want to speak and they, I'm done, there's nothing on the agenda,
But-
but putting something on there.
Okay,
And that was my comment before when I made the motion, because I was confused as being a commissioner, because I wasn't used to the way the meetings run, and
Right. I
but
guess
once
we
it was
never
explained,
put-
it was
I guess
okay.
we never actually put it on there, so
Yeah.
Kelly, you got
Yeah,
something?
yeah, it actually was on there before. It was always on the agendas, I believe, if I look back at the previous ones.
I don't
And then
think so.
it was April 6th, whenever Greg made the
Yeah,
motion
a
to
big,
add it
yeah,
back on,
yeah.
because I think what happened was there was a miscommunication or
I've
something
never had.
between what you intended,
Yeah.
and then it came off, and that really wasn't your intention, so.
Yeah.
I don't
Made the
re-
motion to
I've
add it
always-
back on,
Well, I've-
but during the April 6th meeting, whenever you go back and watch the film, you said, only if it's current and pertinent comments, so.
Right, and it's,
Is that
the comments
subject
are
to-
limited, need to be limited to the subjects on the agenda, just like the other, the council meeting does the same thing.
Okay, so a citizen can't bring forth a new issue or a comment, only what's on the agenda? Is that what you're saying?
That's the way we've, and like I said, and Luke, maybe I misunderstand I know you started adding that at the beginning.
Yeah.
And I understood that it was public comments to items on the agenda.
We just have a sign-in sheet where citizens can sign their name and their address and what they want to speak about. It's not limited to what's on the agenda for us.
Well, yeah, but I guess we can put it with just as miscellaneous comments, but, Jim, you can contest it. A lot of times you bring up stuff that's not on the agenda.
Oh, yeah, many times. I
Yeah, so we'll just formalize it by putting it
I was
on.
just kind of talking about somebody that just come out of the blue, sit down, didn't know the procedure, that's used before. and had it, oh, here's, I can-
Never.
like, this is what I
Not the
can-
commissioner,
I
did.
don't know.
It's nice to have the wording there, because that's what people are used to seeing. I
No,
will agree with
never.
that, because that was where my
I've
confusion.
never, I've always had miscellaneous only listed on the
Wow.
agendas, but I know that during the COVID and the restriction on spacing in the room, there was some limitation on people that wanted to make comments. We only wanted those people to contact us so that we knew they would be here and we would not have to be worrying about spacing. But as far as the agenda, I've always had miscellaneous, but if you want me to add the word comments, I can
Yes.
do that.
Yeah, I mean, I
Okay.
think that's simple enough.
All right,
Don't,
sure.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't-
miscellaneous /
I don't know
comments.
if we
that
even
way
need a
know what-
motion, do we?
Yeah.
No, it's
I
your,
mean, just,
I don't think so, because that's really what it's for.
right. And, well, like I said, we've
Yeah, I can
always
change
done
it.
it that way. I mean, I come into it that, so believe me, Jim, I know you've had lots of comments. And that's fine.
Just
Yeah.
remember when you need to speak to come up to the microphone.
yeah, that's actually a great point. For the folks who are watching online, I don't know that they can hear anything that's being said out in that gallery, so we do need, if they are gonna formally ask a question or speak, we ought to have them come up front.
Either that or
Yeah, they
repeat
should,
it.
yeah.
I mean, I don't
Agree
know,
with
Kelly,
that.
can you hear? I don't know.
Yeah, I can hear, but I like that. I mean, I think that's good, because it's better whenever it's on the.
Yeah, I just didn't know if folks out in the,
Either that or
think
have
it's-
somebody
in other
repeat
words,
the
could
question.
hear at all.
I think it's better, but hopefully it doesn't make people uncomfortable.
That's the other part of it.
It's coming up and
Yeah, I'm not gonna stop somebody from speaking from the gallery, but but if we can
encourage
ask
them to come up to the mic.
Yeah,
Okay. We good then?
I'm good.
I just know how frustrating it is when you're trying to watch something online and you hear nothing, and then somebody says something up here, and you're like, well, what's that? What's that about?
Well,
So,
then you should have listened to our last council meeting. 'cause there
I
was-
can't.
I heard there was a
Yeah, technical.
glitch.
Little technical
Yeah.
You're
glitch.
just
on
hearing
that.
one side of the story, Chris.
I think
I
we've
heard
got the
Charlie
audio system
accidentally hit the
taken care
button
of.
with his
I
knee.
pulled it because they got on me that I talked too much and they took my mic for a minute.
Well, I can't blame him for
I
that.
don't.
There is some sense in it.
Your wife suggested it, is that what you said? All right. All right.
All right.
So we'll just add comments / comments.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Well, next meeting?
Comments?
Hmm?
Are there any
Do you have
comments?
a comment?
Is that all you have? Is that all you have?
No,
Okay.
Mr.
Kirby, okay.
Mr. Land.
Just a couple comments.
You want to come up to the,
Yeah, he is.
Don't have to tell me twice.
you're not shy, I'm not worried about
Not
you.
at all.
I sent you guys an email from Sue Oda saying they were interested. And then I also sent you an email and included Teresa where they had interviewed a person here in the county for a possible employee. But the holdup right now on ITV is the vet.
What can we do about that? I mean,
That's what I was gonna ask you guys. The guy that's always trying to bring business in for us,
mhm.
can you all have them do something to look for a vet?
Yeah,
But a lot of people don't, it's not just us. If you want it, I will print it, scan it, and send it to you guys. AKC, American Kennel Club, did 11-page, I believe, report. I was gonna share it with you guys, but I just been too busy. And the federal government has approved $8.5 billion. And they say by the year 2030, we will have our vet shortage corrected. This $8.5 billion is to encourage students to become veterinarians. At this time and over the past 20 years, family members, high school counselors, and college counselors have talked students into changing their mind because of all the stress and everything, and the low income with being a vet. So we've got a shortage, and I can't remember all this, but like Montana in 2019 had 580 vets in the state. Now they've got 440. Alabama had 690, and I think they've got 510. In Perry County, this is just rumors, have nothing behind it, but Countywide Animal Clinic, he could be retiring anytime. Out at Dale, Dr. Francis' husband is already retired. She tried to get an assistant to stay so she can retire. And Kennedy's old enough, I mean, stage run down. It wouldn't take much for us to have one vet here in this whole county. So people ask me on Facebook, is the vet really an issue? And yeah, it's an issue because if they start taking in animals, and they're taking in an average of 7 or 9 animals a day, they've got to have fuel, wear and tear on a vehicle, and people to run them to New Albany, Louisville, Owensboro, Jasper, wherever, and if they can get a vet. So I mean, they just saying this. There's no reason to take it over and screw it up, and they're still working on getting vets. But if anybody has any idea,
the things that I have talked to Aaron about this, there's several positions that I'm like, how can we actually incentivize these type of positions coming here? Because we have a lack of that here, those professional services. And so I know that she's working on that with a team, and I'll keep pushing on that as well. The other one is I called Purdue and I asked to talk to that department so that I could see if there was like any grads looking for jobs or looking for, because there's literally a place for somebody just to pick up and run if they would do it. But I haven't heard back from that department. I just got the number of the department, let them. I don't know if I called at the wrong time in the school year or what, but I just didn't get anybody yet. So
that's what I ran
but I'm
into the
thinking,
wall.
call vet. You know, if we can find a list of colleges that have vets, what hurts to reach out and say, hey, Perry County needs you.
There's not that many.
Used to be 9.
9 schools, right?
Used to be 9,
Right.
but the last 3 years I've been not on that.
See, that's the other thing. There's so few schools out there that even graduate vets now. I don't know how you ramp up, the major national issue.
Well, in this report I'm talking about, if you all want it, I'll send it to you guys at Teresa. But it even talks about what the average cost of each one of the schools, how deep in debt the average vet is when they graduate, and how much more funding they need to go into practice. So that's the reason they're taking jobs, and they just feel, and they've been told, that if they go to Chicago and New York and New Jersey and wherever, that's where the big money is.
Yeah.
But in reality, our small vets around here are making a lot more than they are on a salary.
Yeah.
But they don't have to worry about 4 or 5 employees and light bills and taxes and vehicles and workers' comp and all that. You know, they just go there and take a salary and
It's running a business is what,
That's the hard part.
is what the hard part.
But if we could find someone that would want to take over, like, let's say the old business that's there, that surely somehow or another we can help them do the business side or find someone to help them with.
Well, I mean,
you know, if that's a skill that they lack, surely as a county, we can find someone to help them get that skill set, you know?
Right,
like-
but we have those programs through
Yeah,
PCDC with it.
exactly.
But it's finding somebody to tell them we have those programs and the veterinarian. I mean, which there's a huge shortage, so whatever
I
we
would
can
bend
do.
over backwards for a vet right now. I'm just telling you right now. Somebody says they want to
The
come.
biggest problems we have is the fact that in the regular medical field, we have nurse practitioners, we have people that are not doctors, that are nurse practitioners that have the ability to do certain things. We're kind of behind the scenes with in the vet because we have vet techs, but they're limited, and I think that they should create a middle road, not necessarily a vet, but a person that has certain abilities, like giving rabies shots. I mean, you know, you have to go to a vet, technically by law, to get a rabies shot. Well, a vet tech, no, the vet techs are well trained, know exactly how to do that, but they don't, the law won't require it, and I think there's a big major problem right there. If we could get a middle level of a person that can do certain things.
Whether it be like a PA or a physician's assistant or a nurse practitioner or something, but that's I mean, that's a big thing but that doesn't exist, and that's the problem.
Politics and.
Right.
well, I mean, that's a state law, what you're talking about. Kentucky just changed that. You can go to Orson or Tractor Supply, and you can buy a rabies shot and give it yourself. And in multiple states, that's legal. That's an Indiana state law that you have to have it done by a licensed vet.
Hmm.
And that's just due to the fact that too many people would get one receipt and share it with 8 neighbors. Well, I got a receipt here, I get my dog a rabies shot.
Well, there's always.
Not that I ever did.
Nobody would do that.
Said no one.
But anyway, ITV is still interested. If anybody else wants to start one before they get here, go for it. That if we could get a vet service, I think our problem would be over.
Do you think one more veterinarian would fill their needs, or
I can't answer that. I mean, I guarantee.
what are they saying, or are they commenting?
They're talking with the whole list over at Owensboro and Jasper, trying to get any kind of, I guess you say, coverage.
Yeah.
I think it would depend on the capacity that vet would guarantee them. You know, if we got a new vet, would they guarantee that they could take 3/4 of the capacity or whatever?
Yeah.
You know? I think
If
that
we
would be
could get
the,
a new
you know what
vet.
I'm saying? If
Right.
you got a new vet.
We could easily handle 2 or 3 vets in this county and not hurt the vets that we have. It would actually be doing them a favor because they would have a little free time to enjoy life. I mean, they stay so
Right.
covered up. Just 2 nights ago, the cat got in the motor on a vehicle down by AT&T. Needed 1 toe cut off and a couple of lollipop sticks put on the back leg. But it was after hours on the weekend.
Just not available.
Just nobody available. Unless you want to take it to Evansville, Owensboro, somewhere like that, and pay
A bunch.
To get there.
$1,000, whatever.
Right.
Yep. I've done that.
Well, I'll talk to Erin too, and probably Wendy, see if she can.
Yeah. They already know the mission, but it doesn't hurt to push.
Everybody, yes.
Yeah, everybody push a little bit.
Right. Okay.
And I'm,
The last time I talked to him, it was 3 months. So it
And-
might be 4 months.
and if you still have that list of colleges, I would love to have it. I'll call each and every one of them and, you know, say, you know, spread the word.
Those Purdue connections too somewhere.
Okay.
My memory.
Okay. I'll get with you.
Any questions?
Hoping for better news.
Call me when we get that.
Okay.
Oh, I need that key too.
Yeah, I know. Now I'm gonna talk to Chris too about that. All right, next meeting?
Your next meeting is Tuesday, a week from tomorrow, June 15th, at 8 a.m. here at the courthouse.
All right, you all in?
One of them short weeks.
Yeah, it is. Gosh, have about one of them or 2 of them a year.
I won't take the pen, there it is.
When I looked at it, I thought,
Don't leave your
Mr.
pen at home.